Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my next Repurchase or Nah, which is a series I have going, a series a lot of us have going actually, where we pull some palettes from our collection randomly and we tell you whether we would purchase them or not. There's a lot of us doing it here and there's a lot of us that have a little bit different rules depending on which channel you go to, but for me, I've used every single one of these palettes, number one. Otherwise, I won't pull them into this. So if they're drawn, I won't pull them into this. Number two, if this palette was still available today and I lost it, would I repurchase it? And or if I knew nothing about this palette, had never used it before in my life, would it still be something that drew my attention if it were promoted today? So kind of hitting it from both sides. If I knew nothing about it, would I still be interested in it today? Knowing what I know now, would I be interested in picking it up again if it were a palette that left my collection? Somebody came in and stole it, whatever, something happened. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna, lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. Ultimately, this is my self-care. I like coming out here talking to you guys about the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things coming into my collection, rolling out of my collection. And that's what brings my heart joy. But if you're on this channel to learn about all the new things coming out on the market, that's just not me. And that's totally okay. I don't really do a lot of new incoming product knowledge kind of stuff, but I am dang sure Skippy gonna give you all the reviews on products that I have in my collection. I have a palette review series here on my collection where I've reviewed over 300 palettes at this point. I also just generally like to talk about makeup, and you people are the people I want to talk about makeup with. So that sounds like something you're interested in, a channel you're interested in coming back to. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 2K this year, and I think that you'll enjoy it. So that said, let's roll into this video where I'm walking through the 10 palettes that were randomly selected for me and telling you whether I'd repurchase them or not. As I've said before, I do roll these in randomly. I have a number generator. All of my palettes are in a spreadsheet. I pull them by the number that is linked to the number generator. However, I don't record any of that because I don't take out the palettes from my number generator. I just like bold print them in my spreadsheet. So it's kind of time consuming, honestly, to get to 10 numbers. This time there was 12 numbers that I had to scale past. So I had to draw 22 numbers to get the 10 palettes that I have to show for you today. And I don't want to have to subject you to all that craziness. However, I do have the number for you in my spreadsheet. The first palette was number 62, which is Mini Rose. And I'm going to warn you right now, there's a lot of Natasha Denona in here because for whatever reason, my random number generator up till this point has pulled nearly none of my Natasha Denona palettes, and it's the biggest palette section in my inventory. I have like 40 of her palettes, so there's a lot in this one. And I am a Natasha Denona stan, but I'm going to try and look at these objectively. So the first one I have is the Mini Rose, and the Mini Rose palette recently came out. This one is one that I was kind of quasi talked into purchasing because my friend Andy had such beautiful eye looks that came out of this palette. I thought it was beautiful, and I still think it's beautiful. This shimmer here is such a beautiful shimmer. It's got 3 mattes, it's got 2 shimmers. You can really get a lot of eye looks out of this little tiny quint, and I love her minis in the way that they're just super easy to travel with, and you're not going to be afraid that they're going to, you know, break or get lost or something because they're only like $29, $27, something like that. So you don't have to worry about them, but you're still getting that great Natasha Denona like quality in her shadows, right? So thinking about this through the lens of, if this were to disappear from my collection, would I go out and repurchase it? Honestly, of all the Natasha Denona palettes that I have, the only reason why I have minis in my palette collection from her is because I think I have to have them for the collection mentality of it. And I know that that's stupid. But because of that, this is not a palette that if it disappeared from my collection today that I would repurchase. because I really do feel like I can get every single one of these shades out of any other palette that I have from her. And I'm not saying that that means like Natasha Denona's palettes are redundant, but a lot of her minis, and I'm not 100% sure about this one. Let's see. You can always tell by the numbers, her shade numbers. So like this Golden Rose is 546 DC or 545 DC, which is a duochrome with the number 545, which all of these shadows are in the 540 range and they're in numerical order, which tells me these are not existing shadows in her collection already. But I do feel like a lot of these shadows could be duped out by a lot of other palettes in her collection. So, I mean, a few of them are even in palettes that I have in this right now. So there's that. If this got stolen from my collection today, I would not go out and repurchase it. Additionally, if it were to launch today and be out there being promoted today, would this interest me in purchasing? I'm gonna have to go with no again, because it wasn't something that I was even interested in until I got FOMO over the eye looks that Andy was sending me on Instagram. And it's not Andy's fault, it's my fault. But every single person that I saw a picture of that did an eye look with this palette it was just such a stunning palette. And not that I can't get pretty looks out of this palette, because I absolutely can, but I can also get those pretty looks out of my retro palette, or my I need a nude palette, or my trio chrome palette even, let's just be honest. So yeah, this is a no from either stance. This is a no. The only thing that would be drawing me to it is, again, that collection mentality. And I don't even like the minis, if I'm honest with you. Those aren't the things that draw me in. I'm going to try and split these up just a little bit, because there's so much Natasha here. Every other one is a Natasha palette, so we're going to go with that. The next one is the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions palette. This is number 12 in my makeup inventory. Just one of her little 9-pan monochromatic color stories. I really like Huda Beauty's Obsessions palettes, but I'm not sure why I really like Huda Beauty's Obsessions palettes. I do not think that they're the same formula. As a matter of fact, I know that they're not the same formula because they're made in a completely different place, if I remember correctly, as her larger palettes. And I feel like her larger palettes have a really great formulation. I don't feel the same way about these Obsessions palettes. I did purchase this one because of the collector mentality. I had to have them all. I think at one point in time my collection had like 12 Obsessions palettes in it. I have since started to dwindle them down. I have held on to this one because it is one of the ones that I do like a lot. However, that said, if this disappeared from my collection today, would I repurchase it if it were available? The answer is no, because I have better corals in my collection now. I maybe did then when I probably not then when I purchased this, but I have better coral palettes or coral colors in my collection that I prefer over this one any day. And it's just not the premier Huda Beauty formula. In my opinion, it's not the best of the Huda Beauty formulations. If this was a palette that launched today, would it draw my attention? Maybe, because of the color story, because I love a good red coral yellow, like sunsetty eye look on me, and I think it looks beautiful on my skin tone, on my eyes. It would probably draw my attention, but I don't think that I would purchase it because I'm just not a monochromatic color story kind of girl. Also, this has so many mattes and only 2 shimmers, which is really odd to me. I prefer more of a 50-50 mix, and I do know that this is like a 9-pan palette, but I would prefer either 5 of one, 4 of the other, opposite, you know, of each other, whichever it is. 2 shimmers I don't feel like is enough for me, and I also feel like it doesn't go really dark to really light. Yes, this looks light. Yes, this looks dark, but it's really not in the grand scheme of things. So there's a lot of different reasons why I probably would not pick up this palette. Even though it might draw my attention, I might side-eye it a little bit. I don't think that I'd pick it up if it launched today. And again, I wouldn't repurchase it. The next one I have is this one, which is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And I mean, I purchased this one for my friend JC for her birthday before I ever purchased it for me. It wasn't one that I was interested in when it first came out. And I think mostly because it's 5 mattes and the rest of it is shimmers. So there's 10 shimmers in this palette, and I just don't use shimmers like that, right? They go in like literally one space on my eye look, and that is on my lid. I don't need 10 shimmers and 5 mattes. I need it to be kind of opposite of that, or a 50-50 mix like I was just saying about the coral. That said, when I purchased it, it was shipped to me, and I opened it up when it first came in just to make sure that everything was, you know, copacetic before I gave it to JC for her birthday. And I fell in love with it. It was so pretty. And I was like, I have to purchase that for me. So I did end up purchasing it for me as well. So this is my version. I gave JC hers. The fact of the matter is that I am a collector of Natasha. So I do know that because of that, if this disappeared from my collection today, I would want to repurchase it. I likely would repurchase it because it's kind of become a staple in my collection. Like these shimmers, even though there's 10 of them, they are beautiful shimmers. They are some of the most gorgeous, like just like champagne and everyday shimmers that I have in my collection. And even though there's only 5 mattes, these are truly the most perfect mattes. Like her mini that just came out of the sculpting palette, I don't know that you need that if you have this palette, because you have like all the sculpting shades that you need. I mean, granted, that one goes from like white to black, but this one almost goes white to black. Like it's really light to pretty deep. This brown shows up pretty deep. That said, if this launched today, would I side-eye it? Would I want to pick it up? Yes. If I lost it in my collection, somebody came in, somebody took it, it accidentally got thrown in the trash can, whatever the case may be, would I want to repurchase it? Yes. That is a yes for me. The next one I have is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 4 Transcendence palette. And this is actually a palette that I didn't purchase. This is a palette that came to me in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. I think it was the second or third Beautylish Lucky Bag that I got. This is beautiful, but I have to tell you, this isn't a palette that I had on my wish list ever because it's so expensive. It's $125 for, as you can see, 14 shadows. There's a reason. These shadows are amazing. Like if you think that Pat McGrath special shades are amazing, these will kick those in the butt. Like, just saying. This is your best bet for multi-chrome shadows mainstream. So if you need to touch something, feel something, see something, you know, physically before purchasing, this is your best bet for that, because the indie shadows are probably better than this, but this is your best bet as far as like mainstream goes. That said, this wasn't a palette that I was looking at because it was so expensive, but also because these seemed like pain in the ass kind of shadows, if I'm honest with you. As a matter of fact, I think I talked to a friend of mine and talked her out of this palette because of these 4 shadows in the middle being a pain in the ass. Would I repurchase this if it was thrown in the garbage? If somebody came in and took it? Whatever. Probably not. I wouldn't. It's just not a palette that I use very often. I have multi-chromes from indie brands that I prefer, right? But this is so good. It really is. Like, me saying no doesn't mean anything except for that I have experienced multi-chromes from other indie brands that are flaky and beautiful and better. Mildly better. But I would dang sure miss it. I just wouldn't repurchase it. If it was a palette that launched today, would I side-eye it? Yes. Knowing what I know now about Danessa Myricks, having other Danessa Myricks palettes in my collection, yes, I would side-eye it. I would maybe want it even. But I know I wouldn't spend the $125 on it because I hadn't, up until this point, spent the $125 on any of her palettes. until her most recent one. So, you know, sadly, and maybe surprisingly, this one is a no. Natasha, Denona, I need a nude. Oh, I forgot to tell you. This one was number 29. This one was number 168 on my spreadsheet. This one is number 53. This is a no. And if you guys saw the review, you know why. This is the only Natasha Denona palette I have that I have ever struggled hard with. Everybody loves this palette. Everybody loves this palette. I have put on, taken off, and reapplied so many eye looks out of this palette. It's not even funny. I give it a raving review for formulation. I hate the color story of this palette. I hate the color story of this palette. This is one of those palettes that she has that you can pop out the, you know, shadows and mix and match them. This is one of them that I have honestly thought, you know, I wonder if I put some different shadows in here, if, you know, to complement some of the other shadows that are in here, because individually these shades are not bad. They're really not. But I think that these two are super redundant. I think that these two are super redundant. I think that these two shimmers, or maybe it's these two shimmers, are super redundant. I think there's a lot of redundancy in this palette. I think it's just too muted. And I was on a video that I just recorded not that long ago telling you guys that when I have a light colored eye look, I feel kind of weird about it. I mean, that's really what this is about. It's about color story for me, not about formulation, not about anything else. I knew better when I picked up this palette. So if this launched today, would I side-eye it? Probably, because it's Natasha Denona. Would I purchase it? Probably, because it's Natasha Denona. But would I regret it? Absolutely yes. If this was lost out of my collection today, would I repurchase it? No, it would not. Is that a surprise? Tell me who's surprised about that one. The next one I have was number 194 in my collection. So, you know, it's a fairly new palette to me, but I have used it. This is the Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette. I just did a palette review on this palette, and green is my favorite color. This just launched. This is like fairly new out and also new to my collection, right? If this just launched, would I side-eye it? Yes, I did side-eye it. It's green. Green is my favorite color. Would I want to purchase it? Yes. Would I purchase it? Likely. Yes. Now that I've broken that dam on, you know, ordering from Cosmic Beauty, yes, I would likely purchase it. If I lost it today, would I want to repurchase it? If it was thrown away, if somebody came in and stole it, would I want to repurchase it? Yes. I just did the review on this palette. I feel like this is just such an amazing palette. The multi-chromes in here are really good. The duochrome in here is really good. I do think that it sways way too gold in the shimmer formula. Like almost everything in here is gold. Almost everything in here is either gold or leans gold on an eye look, and I am not a gold person, but the eye looks that I was able to create out of this, and I wish that this went a little bit cooler as well as all the warmth that it has in it instead of this orange row down here. But it's a beautiful palette. I had such a great time with it. I loved every single eye look that I got out of it, and like I have nothing but rave reviews. And also, it's a palette that's $30 something. Why would I not want to replace it? Considering it's such a beautiful palette, I had such a great time with it. The eye looks I got from it were beautiful, and it's green. Yes. Why would I not? Okay, the next one I have is number 32, Natasha Denona Bronze. Oh, look it. You can see me. Hello. Hello. Such a dummy. I quite love this palette. I love warm bronzy eye looks. If I'm going to do a brown eye look, it's normally of the bronzy nature because, again, I go back to this, in which I said I love orangey, sunsetty, like warmy, warm toned red eye looks on me. And this is all those things also. This is this in a bigger nutshell. Like when I look at this palette and this palette together, this is the better version of this palette. So yes, if this disappeared from my collection, would I want to repurchase it? Absolutely. If this launched today, would I side-eye it and want to purchase it? Yes. Not only because I am a Natasha Denona stan, but also because of the color story of it. I just think it is stunning. It's beautiful. It's got a perfect mix of shimmers to mattes. It's got also this like crazy weird like purple in it, which isn't the best shade if I'm honest with you. But it's pretty. I love the reds in here. I wish it had a red matte. This is as close to a red matte as you're gonna get, but I can pull a red matte from somewhere else, and this one performs really well in the outer corner and crease areas. It's just pretty. So I would say yes to this one on both occasions. The next one I have is number 24, which is Halloween Town by Melt. I do have both the Halloween Town and the Christmas Town palette by Melt. This one was the first one that came out and the one I purchased. The Christmas Town one that I have, a friend of mine purchased for me as a gift. And I bought the whole kit and caboodle. I bought the whole set, the whole thing, right? $300 worth of Melt Cosmetics stuff. Lipsticks that I will never wear, glitter eye gels that went bad right away and are the most horrible on my eyes. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this palette. This one is a really beautiful like IP. I love the IP. I love the color story of this palette. However, I don't know. I kind of went back and forth with this one, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If this launched today, would I be interested in purchasing it? Yes. Would I side-eye it? Yes. Would I want it? Yes. But I think if this had been launched at the same time as Christmas Town, this is not the palette that I would have purchased. And I do think I've said that multiple times on this channel. They were launched 2 weeks apart. So when I purchased this one, I had no idea that Christmas Town was coming. And Christmas Town is probably my favorite of the two. They both have fickle formulas. I mean, it is the Melt Cosmetics formulation, right? So you get what, you know what you're getting when it comes to that. I do love the colors in this palette, but I like the Christmas Town one better. So I think there's a semblance of different circumstances that could happen with this one. If they had launched at the same time, I wouldn't have purchased this one. I would have purchased the other one. If this one launched today, would I want to purchase it? Yes. I'll give it a yes there. Would I purchase it today if it were launched today, though? It depends on if it was launched with the other one or no. I think I probably would, just because of it being Melt Cosmetics, which is one of my favorite brands, and because of the IP of it all. I definitely think that this would probably be a yes. Except for like these colors down here, like are not my favorite. Like these purples, yes, right up my alley. But I'm not a big blue wearer, and I really don't like gold. This one would be okay, but I really don't like gold. I don't know. It's a crapshoot on this one. I'm going to go with yes, only because I feel like I would purchase it. However, if it left my collection today, for whatever reason, would I repurchase it? The answer is no. So I'm going to put it in the no pile. Natasha Denona Metropolis. That is the next one, and this was number 33 in the spreadsheet, and this is what this pretty baby looks like, and this is going to be yes every single time. I think in my Natasha Denona ranking video that I did many moons ago, it's been forever, and I do have another one coming soon, I promise you. There are 40 palettes, so it's rough. I think this was ranked like my favorite palette in that, top one palette in that. I don't know if I'd rank it top one in that today, but I do think it would be top 10 of the 40 that I have. It's just a beautiful palette. I love everything about it. It's got 18 cream to powder formulas in here, and this is the best as far as I'm concerned cream to powder palette formulation that she has. I don't know that there's any difference in any of them. I know that there was when Cranberry came out. That one was horrible, but these are great. These are great shadows. Probably easily one of my favorite, easily one of my top 10 Natasha Denona palettes out there. So if it came out today, if it launched today, would I side-eye it? Yes. And there's a lot of green in it. The palette is green in and of itself. So yes, I would side-eye it. Would I repurchase it if I lost it in my collection? It was available. Absolutely. And this one was one of the more expensive ones. This one was $128. So that's saying a lot. I love that eyeshadow palette. The last one I have is number 165 in my inventory, which is the Sydney Grace in Mills Memory palette, which is more of singles that came in a bundle, but I have them in a palette. They're in my palette collection as a palette because that is how I purchased them. I did not purchase them singly. I purchased them in that palette bundle. And this is the In Mills Memory palette by Sydney Grace, and I mean, this is not 100% my color story, right? I am not really a pastels junkie, and it does lean very pastel. However, these are beautiful shadows, and I prefer this palette over the Natasha Denona Retro Glam one that has the same color story because these just perform, I think, just a smidge bit better than those and have a little bit more pigmentation, have a little bit more ease of use, if I'm honest with you. And of course there are 5 more shades here, so you're getting a little bit more variety than you are in that Natasha Denona palette. So if I lost this in my collection today, would I repurchase it? I would try. I don't think that you can pick it up anymore from Sydney Grace. I don't think. If you can, we'll see if I can link it down below, but I would try. I would try to match the shades or get as close to it as possible, but I likely would not be able to do it. If it launched today, would I side-eye it? Probably not. It's just not my color story, and I do have the Natasha Denona one, and I know that I don't really prefer that Natasha Denona palette, so this color story would not draw me in. So the answer would be no. I wouldn't repurchase it if I lost it today, because I don't think I can, and I don't think that the singles even are available. And also, let's just be honest, this isn't my color story. So no, I wouldn't repurchase it. No, I wouldn't side-eye it. So that being said, listen, there were 5 Natasha Denona palettes, and I only have 4 palettes total here that I would keep or I would want to repurchase if I lost them today. And one of them is not a Natasha Denona palette. I would want to repurchase Metropolis. I would want to repurchase Bronze. I would want to repurchase Glam, and I would want to repurchase the Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette. But there are 6 here that I wouldn't repurchase, which actually is kind of shocking to me because so many of them are like, Melt is one of my favorite brands, right? Natasha, one of my favorite brands. 2 of the palettes in here are Natasha palettes. And also like Danessa Myricks happens to be like some of my prides and joy, right? But that's also in here on a palette that I wouldn't repurchase if it launched today or if I lost it. What an interesting repurchase or not, wouldn't you say? Please let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. Would you keep any of these? Would your answer be different than mine? I would be interested to hear from you guys down in the comments section. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all safe and healthy and getting along as best that you can. I hope that you are all loving each other, being kind humans, living your best life. And until next time, bye friends.